Lord awakened me out of a sound sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning and said, now is the time to start the school. And I said, now, Lord, we haven't got any money. So we drove over, and as we drove into the entrance gates, the Lord said, this is the place I've chosen for you. And then we changed the name to Westmont College.
Mrs. Kerr was an incredibly godly woman. She established this foundation for the college that we would always love Christ, we would serve the purposes of Christ in the world, and that everything we did needed to be God-honoring. You have to have rigorous academic preparation, but you also have to have the character formation that comes from a deep love for God so that you can sustain yourself in the world.
I think about Ruth Kerr and her vision. I can get very emotional about it because God gave her something and she took that vision and she built Westmont.
It's in our DNA as a school, I think, to serve in the world and in our community. There's something about living alongside the people that you're studying with and that you're serving alongside that goes deep. And so I think our students leave here, our alum leave here looking to create community wherever they land.
Yes, I have found a community at Westmont. It didn't feel like it for the first year, transitioning from one country to another, to different cultures, away from my people. It was hard.
The community that we have within Westmont is really what made me stay. The community between students and the community between professors.
God has placed within the lives of these students the opportunity to study at Westmont, and we have the opportunity and the privilege of stewarding them and serving them while they're here.
I love interacting with my colleagues. I love interacting with students, and it's a feeling that I've never had at any campus before. The feeling that people want me to flourish and just do my best and be happy.
More important than what took place in the classroom itself is what took place with your friends, in the dorms, and with faculty members outside of the classroom.
It's like a sacred moment to come together for an hour, for 2 hours, and to look at each other, grapple with this material, read important people, and ask ourselves, what can we learn about this subject matter?
I think the mission of Westmont is encapsulated a lot by our motto, Christ preeminent in all. And I think it is a mission to educate the whole student, every aspect and every side of the student.
Well, we're taking time away from what we're studying to pray together or to eat together. And you're saying we learn more. And they said, well, yeah. It drew us into a different type of relationship. We were more intellectually vulnerable. And we learned more. It kind of blew me away.
Honestly, my primary task in the classroom is to be a discipler. I hope to help them expand their faith, to grow it so that it's bigger, so that it's more robust.
I think faith really is taking a kind of a step out or a leap of faith and just kind of going to a college that you have no idea about, but you know that the right people are there, and like knowing that God will be there for you.
We'll go back and forth between what's great about Westmont are the students, and then I say, oh no, what's great about Westmont is the faculty.
The main goal of a Christian liberal arts education is to acquire wisdom, something that the Bible commends and also the ancient Greek philosophers promote. And I think that what the world desperately needs is to have people committed to Christ who can use their knowledge wisely.
And we need to be equipping young people to learn how to use their gifts for good work. And there's no better place for that than Westmont College.
Westmont definitely challenges you to not just be Christ-like when you're surrounded by your fellow Christian students and friends and professors, but to go out there and to really apply what you learned here in places that serve different types of food, that have different types of values.
If there were more communities like Westmont, I think that this is an experimental place. Can you build a community that crosses these boundaries?
I do believe Westmont, for all the academic rigor, that it is a community where we are collaborative, that it isn't a zero-sum game. You know, when God gives you a safe place to fail, it's one of the best gifts He'll ever give you. this arena to explore, to push yourself, to fail sometimes, but to be able to persevere. And that's our calling as Christians, not to succeed according to the world's standards. Our calling as Christians is to be faithful no matter where you are.
I felt the call of God on my life to be in a place that was academically challenging, but also very just spiritually committed and Christ-centered, and that's what this place has been for me.
I see the Westmont students, I see the faculty who walk the walk and talk the talk of a Christ-centered life.
I know if it was of my own strength, I wouldn't have made it even halfway to where I've made it here. So everything that's happened has like literally just been God's blessing, God's grace.
I think Westmont and some of the other Christian colleges, though, have what the world is wanting, a way of raising men and women that will not only feed their mind and boost their salary, but fill their soul.
This place is one of the few places in the world I can call home, and I'm so grateful for that.
I feel God's presence every day. I feel it in the way in which we interact with the students. I feel it when we're hiring new faculty. I feel it when we gather for worship as a community. And in the little and big ways, you just continually feel the sense of God being a part of the greater work of Westmont. It's an incredible privilege.